Erik Ten Hag is under pressure as his job might be on the line should Manchester United lose against Liverpool at Old Trafford. There are quite a number of candidates that are being looked at as possible replacements. INEOS is set to make a final decision on the future of our boss at the end of the season. Welcome to the United Hotspot. My name is Webb. As we turn to Man United up against Liverpool, it is indeed pressure mounting on our boss. Now, that man you saw there on the screen, Ruben Amorim, is one of the guys who has been looked at as a possible replacement for Erik Ten Hag. Amorim is one of the emerging great young football managers, I think, in the world. He's only 39, under 40, really, but the things he's doing with Sporting Lisbon are unbelievable. Sporting Lisbon, the way they play, how they look, how they perform, how they apply themselves, they are clearly a modern club that you enjoy to watch. I think if you rate right now, currently, by form, by performance, the best emerging managers in the world, Amorim is up there with Jabi Alonso. And the likes. So he is indeed a strong contender to replace Manchester United's manager Erik Ten Hag. And he recently came out there and said that he's not sure he will start at Sporting Lisbon at next season. That is Amorim, he said. Now, there are reports suggesting that he's already coming close to agreeing a deal with Liverpool to replace Jurgen Klopp, but nothing is done yet. It's very possible. We've seen what Sir Jim Ratcliffe can do. We've seen how he can snatch people. As long as he wants you, he can snatch you. He can price you out of any contract or any deal you might have. So it can be a possibility. We cannot completely write it off. But before even going to him coming or not, we need to look at Erik Ten Hag leaving. Is there a realistic possibility that Erik Ten Hag could be sacked by Manchester United? Now, here is why the possibility is there. Guys, this is Manchester United, and we do know how big a rival Chelsea and Liverpool are. Now, lose against Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge, come back at Old Trafford and lose against Liverpool, it is certainly going to augur badly. It's not going to augur well with anyone who knows the values of Manchester United. So that's why it is a very, very high pressure game. Erik Ten Hag knows that, whereas it looks like there is calm for him and all. 8 games are so many for a Premier League manager. If we lose at home, lose back-to-back games, fail to get 3 points, even 4 points out of a possible 9, it is very possible that he can be sacked. And history has it clear that this is around the period clubs sack managers because they do want to get to respectable places, but also they know the importance or the impact of a new manager at a club. Now, for Man United and the desperates we are in, depending on how much INEOS would want to finish among the top 4, they know that if they sacked Erik Ten Hag now, even an interim manager in place, it would shake up the club a bit, and we would actually have good performances for a couple of games towards the end of the season. So if Man United lose, it could give Ineos ideas. So this talk, Erik Ten Hag is not yet safe. He has not played himself to safety. Even if there are moments we've come and won, moments we've had good games, and that's why you see him going around in the media and calling upon and begging, sending a message to Ineos without saying it clearly or directly to them that do not interrupt this process, because he knows there is a bit of pressure on him. He knows there is a possibility that these people might be contemplating pulling the trigger on him. So it's a very, very huge possibility if we don't get results. Now, for Amorim, going back to him, why he is one of the front guys, by the way, because you look at how Dan Ashworth and sets up his teams to play, which kind of football he wants to play, and Amorim can be that kind of manager who can come in and execute that. The most important thing is the fact that we are rebuilding. We do want to rebuild with a young manager. Even the age is an advantage to him. You want to rebuild the team and grow with him if you're planning long term. The way we had Sir Alex Ferguson join United when he was in his, I think, early or mid 30s, way back, uh, it is also very possible. It is very possible that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos will want to have a young manager who is going to come and grow with this team, make mistakes with the team, learn with the team, give them time, and grow into something good. Because Ineos's plan is not going to be to come and keep switching managers just to buy titles. They want to build something, build a product, build a club around a manager who has got a proper understanding of the values they want to put in place. And a 39-year-old promising Portuguese manager is certainly one who will highly, highly be up the radar if that moment is to come. So it's a very critical state for Erik Ten Hag, this game against them. And that's why he was pleading with the media rather with the fans, telling them, stop, please, stop. Those are bad chants against us. Don't bring them at Old Trafford, because he knows if Sir Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS are there and all the fans are chanting and calling for his head, obviously Sir Jim Ratcliffe, being a manager, being new to the club, they will want to please the fans first before considering Erik Ten Hag. They would want to start on a good slate, and a good slate at Man United now is pleasing the supporters. So that's the first thing they would want to do. So Erik Ten Hag knows exactly that these supporters of Man United at Old Trafford can get him sacked against Liverpool. If these players are not running, if these players are not performing, if they are not interested, if he selects the wrong, so the Rashfords of this world, for example, who are clearly disinterested, if he goes on to select the same players, guys like Amorim will have their chance. They will obviously be watching. So it's a very tight situation. But the reality is, yes, whereas, yes, Erik Ten Hag's job might be on the line, it's extremely possible. The reality is, us getting Amorim, whereas it's again possible, it's still a bit difficult, quite frankly, considering the competition. Bayern wants a manager, Liverpool wants a manager. Chelsea is not clear, by the way, whether they would want a manager as well. Bayer Leverkusen might want a manager in the event that Jabi Alonso finally chooses to leave. He had said he would want to stay put at Leverkusen, who are just a win away from winning their Bundesliga title. So the competition for Ruben Amorim might be high because he's one of the top three, if not top five, top most best managers in the world today. He's one of them. If you watch Sporting Lisbon play, you know what I'm talking about. They are a whole different lot. They press so well up high the pitch. They pass the ball with intensity. You feel like they can't be a good modern day Premier League club. You feel like he's one manager who, over time, can come into the Premier League and give headache to Pep Guardiola. So he's that kind of manager. He's building a profile for himself that will keep him up there with the best in the game. So he's a hot cake, and you're thinking, if you're him, would you choose Man United over Liverpool with the template that Jurgen Klopp has set already? What would you want to sit into? Also, as a manager, you don't want to give yourself a lot of burden. He sees the rot going on at Manchester United, the way we all see it. Would you want to come and be a part of that rot and try to fight, and on the hope that the INEOS team will put it, or would he rather go to another big club and just instantly sitting there and be performing in a space that is conducive for a manager to perform? So all that, probably will be picking up his phone and calling his fellow Portuguese mentor in Jose Mourinho, asking him whether it's the right decision for him to join Man United. Should he go to Liverpool? So it's a tricky thing, honestly, for Man United now to attract any manager. The allure is not exactly there. It was there by name because we are Manchester United, but realistically, if you look at the options around, football has changed today. We are no longer just the only big club in the world. There are so many big clubs that a manager would want to go to that can earn him respect, that could earn them even more money than they can earn at Man United. So there is a lot of competition around Amorim that you would think maybe he may not consider Man United as a first priority. He may not consider Man United as a first priority because the reality is things are so terrible for Manchester United lately that it makes it difficult for anyone to choose us over another big club. It's very difficult. But that's the situation where we're in. So that's why the game is important. We've got to beat Liverpool. We've beaten them before, but that was in the past. This is the Premier League. This is a game of pride. They will come charged to perform. They will be motivated. And that is why Erik Ten Hag has got to play his cards right if he's going to serve himself, if he's going to give the players an opportunity to do something against Liverpool, to perform, because we've clearly shown we can play football before against this same team. So how we now organize ourselves, how we approach the game, how we go into it is going to be so important for where we finish. I've had people saying they don't care how we play, they just want us to win. I'm not one of those. I think I'm for how we play before even the win. That's why, yes, we mismanaged the Chelsea game, but I was more happy about the performance against Chelsea than I was about the performance in the draw against Brentford. Does that even make sense? We drew against Brentford, but I was happier about how we played against Chelsea. It was about how we played against Brentford. The Brentford game, we didn't deserve anything at all in that game. The Chelsea game, you clearly saw, yes, there were moments of naivety, wrong decisions made here and there that cost us a game. But we played football against a big club. For me, as a football, purist, I would want to first see the performance first and have the result come based on the performance. So all these things will be looked at INEOS as they do make the decision. So don't you think that if because we are shouting Erik Ten Hag stay, we can't keep sacking managers, that his job is safe? Erik Ten Hag's job is still on the line, and if we lose against Liverpool, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, a Man United supporter, might pull the trigger. Very possible. Subscribe, and let me catch you later, fam.